Roster Mania is here, and we are starting off with a banger. LA Thieves have made an offer to Celium. That's what sources are saying, and today I wanted to discuss this potential new Thieves roster. So, starting off with what actually happened. The official news is Ghosty is now a restricted free agent. Okay, so we go through, we can check out the tweet right here. As we can see, Ghosty, let's just get it loaded, you know what I'm saying? There you go, restricted free agent for the 2026 season. Okay, so we go through, and what that basically means, I'm trying to remember what the difference is restricted and non-restricted. I think restricted basically means that they're still under contract, but he's basically leaving, and he needs to be bought out. That's, to my knowledge, what restricted means. And non-restricted is basically like a free agent. They can kind of go anywhere. Okay. So Celium, if we look through here, is no longer on there because he's a free agent. So we go through, where is Celium? I can't see Celium anywhere. Yeah, I think because just he's a free agent, so we're chilling. That's basically how it is. So right there, you can see confirmed free agent. So we go across. This is an excellent Excel, by the way. I think it's from Turtle, but it's just an insane one. But you see right there, Celium's a free agent. So the difference between Celium and Ghosty's one, for example, is Celium's a free agent, which means he can kind of move where he wants. He doesn't need to be bought out. He can re-sign with FaZe or move somewhere else. It's up to him. He basically has a new contract wherever he goes. And on the other side with Ghosty, what that basically means, if someone tweets like that, is that he's basically moving, but he needs to be bought out. That's kind of it. So let's go through. On this Excel here, you can see this is going to be the rostered rumor. Hydra, Envoy, Scrap are going to stay, and they're going to replace Ghosty with Celium. Okay, so just off the break there, I wanted to talk about that and kind of what this means for the team, and just kind of give my thoughts. In the background, we can have a little bit of MC gameplay, just while we're kind of scouting and seeing what we're working with. So I think with this new team, what we're going to have in terms of Ghosty for Envoy, just a straight switch, is we're going to have a lot more of a ceiling as a player in terms of just slaying. I mean, I love what Ghosty does and his intangibles to the team, but I do think MC himself is an upgrade. So I think we're going to have a slight, I would say, ceiling in this team. If we look through, we are going to have a bit of a ceiling. If I do it there, will you guys be able to see that? So can you guys see that? I don't know if you guys can see the OBS. Hopefully you can. Anyways, I'm going to move on. But yeah, I think Celium himself, what he offers is he plays his life super well. I think overall, some people call him a bit of a kill whore and stuff like that. But I think if he can just adapt his gameplay just slightly, where he's playing a little bit more towards the hill and plays a bit more like Dashy from MW3, where he's a bit more of a hill kitten and allows his team to kind of slay and roam around, I think this could be a really, really good team. I don't think Ghosty was bad this year, for sure. I think they were definitely a good team. But I think at the end of the year, they were a little bit lackluster. And what you're seeing now, I know this is a rank play game and old gameplay, but just even what he's doing now, I think this is where Celium is super good, is when he's playing his life, trying to finesse on the hill, stuff like that. And like just giving himself these kind of situations, I think can really help the team, especially when you have like Scrap and Hydra. You're gonna have two Slayers roaming around, and then Envoy kind of just roaming around as well. I think you have a really good dynamic. Now, what I personally think, if I'm Thieves and I'm really, really going all in, is it possible? I don't know, but I really, really, really think they need to go for a BZ as well, bro. And this is why I have the new roster there. As you can see, I have a BZ, Cell, Hydra, and Scrap. I think this roster, if we look here, if we actually can somehow get a BZ, bro, if we can somehow get a BZ, I don't know if I can actually. Okay, I think I need to request access. Let me see if it even works. I don't know, but I tried it anyways. Let's see. I don't know. He might be like, who the fuck are you? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe you can copy over, but cool. It doesn't matter. But yeah, right now, if I'm like looking at a BZ, bro, he's a restricted free agent. I don't know, man. I'm looking at that, and that's kind of interesting to me, man. That really, really is interesting. So you see it right there again. Zoom is hilarious, by the way. But restricted free agent. So same as Ghosty. A BZ is someone that can be bought out now. He's a free agent, but he's restricted. So he's still, I don't know if it means he's just under contract, but he's a free, I don't really know. But that's what my understanding is anyways, that he's still under contract with the org, but he's looking for a move. You know what I'm saying? That's what it looks like. So if I'm Thieves, man, Hydra, Envoy, Scrap, and a BZ, I think has the perfect dynamic of a team. You have MC, who again could be the backbone to the team. He can actually allow himself to play his life and just utilize his strengths. Because I think his strength is one of those things that, oh wait, wrong scene. Give me a second. There you go. Yeah. I think if you look at MC's strengths, just overall, one of his biggest strengths, I want to go through some of the stats here, but his biggest strength, in my opinion, is just playing his life. So you see, he actually the highest KD in the league, and KD's not everything. It really isn't. I think people really overestimate KD. Please don't. But if you look at specific things, right, like hardpoint itself, hardpoint KD, right? Now the top 5, we have Cell, Hydra, and Scrap. Like 3 of the top 5 would be in the same team. They just have such high slaying powers where I just think that the game itself would just be easier for them. You know what I'm saying? It would just like, when you have slayers like that, the game is just going to be easier. So I really, really, really believe if they somehow manage to get this roster, they're going to be unbelievable. unbelievable in hardpoint. We go through to S&D, same thing. They have 2 of the top 5 there, and you look at control, they have 3 of the top 5. So just in terms of pure slaying ability, they have probably the best slaying team in the game, right? And then you go through and you look at, they're all winners. They have, I just think, so much potential. I really, really do. And I think they're going to be, as Optic, I'm an Optic fan. If they get this team, this is going to be the biggest rival for the year. It's going to be Optic versus Thieves, and they're going to look super scary. So I just think the dynamics really work well. And I think a lot of people have been on Selim's arse, man. I've seen a lot of people talk about Selim recently and like, oh, you know, he could be a key or plays a bit slow. I really don't agree, man. I really don't agree. I think that we like major 2 and 3 or major 1 and 2 when they won, everyone looked at MC like the best player in the game, and I think they had a bit of a downfall trend towards the second half, but that wasn't MC's fault, bro. That was just the whole team not being on the same page, man. And I just really believe his talent and the way he can play the game, if he has 3 slayers around him shooting like that and just being on the same page, I think the team dynamic is going to be perfect. You have someone, especially if next year, which it will be like this year, I think people sometimes say he's a bit too slow. I get it, but I think when you have a fast AR like Scrap, a BZ and Hydra, I want to get to that dynamic duo in a second, right? But just off the roster alone, and just on Selim's point, like he will have 3 aggressive SMGs with him, but if he can just match the pacing a little bit, I just think they are going to be so difficult to beat. They're probably going to be the best hardpoint team in the game. I'm going to leave Optic out for now. Let's just look at everyone else, because Optic, we know, won the champs in EWC. Hopefully they can carry on that form, but let's just look at the rosters elsewhere, right? I think this team can compete with Optic for sure, and also like they look like they could be the best Optic team, best hardpoint team in the game. S&D wise as well, I really like Selim and S&D. BZ is one of the best S&D players of all time. Hydra and Scrap, I would say, out all game modes, that's probably the game mode that maybe struggle with the most. S&D, even though this year they definitely played better, but just out of the 3 game modes, they're definitely better in Respawn. I think this team has a lot of intangibles, a lot of really, really, really good parts of it, of the puzzle. And I just think it can really, really, really be just an unbelievable team. I really do. I don't see a weakness in the team. I absolutely don't. Control, they're going to be unbelievable as well. Thieves have been so good at control. So if they can kind of carry on that trend, FaZe have been good at control at times as well, but Thieves have been really good at control this year. And hardpoint, they'll be unbelievable. So I think S&D, they're going to have those intangibles from FaZe, where they were so dominant for years. They're going to have the S&D, sorry, they're going to have the control from Thieves, and then the hardpoint is from everyone. So I just think it has the perfect blend and balance, especially right now with the offseason. We're not going to have another opportunity to pick up a player like a BZ or Cell. They haven't moved for 6 years. So if you're Thieves, I think you have to upgrade here. Selim looks like he's more than likely done. For me, a BZ is the missing piece here. I don't mind the Envoy situation here, but I really believe wherever a BZ goes is going to be number 2. I have seen rosters of this Toronto team as well. The Toronto roster could be a BZ Joe, Kleenex on flex with Draza. That team I think will be better than this Thieves team if this Thieves team is Envoy, Selim, Hydra, and Scrap. I just think that a BZ is the key here. I really do. And I think a BZ Hydra sub duo is different class as well. Because I know BZ stats suffered towards the end of the year, and I want to talk about that because I want to defend him because he's one of my favorite players. Bro, I think his stats suffered because his team were not on the same page, bro. They just won. If you look through, let's look at FaZe in specific. Like, they just didn't play well. They weren't on the same page. It was never a talent thing. These guys are unbelievable. It simply was just, they just didn't play well, man. They really didn't. So we go through, like, look at their last 5 matches, for example. They lost 1-3, they lost 1-3, they won 3-2, lost 0-3. Like, they were getting fried towards the end. They lost 3-0 to Texas. They lost 4-2 to Thieves in the final. Literally, since that moment there, they lost 2, 3, 4, 5. They lost 5 out of like 8 games. That's just not FaZe. That's just not FaZe. So I can't look at that like and judge them too much. It really just wasn't them. It just didn't play well. They just didn't play well. We go through right here, and you can see in terms of their game modes as well, 52-35 on the hard point, S&D 42-33, control 33-20. So all 3 game modes they played well in, and I just really think that it has to be a persona switch here. I think they just won on the same card, and it's as simple as that. Let's actually check out the players here. I want to see the players from FaZe. Where can we go? Where can we go? I don't really care about player cards, but we'll leave them up for now. So when we look at these player cards again, we look at BZ, and he had a fairly underwhelming season. I just think that because they weren't on the same page, and BZ was that main kind of aggressive sub, I feel like he got left out to dry. And I think Simp is one of the best players of all time, but when they're playing well and everything's cool, it's fine. But I think for the end of the season, what I noticed is Simp really, really fell off as well. Like, he really did. And I think that really affected BZ's game as well, because this game was one of those games where you need aggressive subs. When we look at Optic, for example, let me go through and let's look at Optic, okay? Because talent-wise, like FaZe are one of them. For like these guys are so talented. Like, there's nothing to talk about. They just are some of the most talented individuals we've ever seen in Call of Duty. So it wasn't a talent thing. But as a team dynamic, their pacing just was not it. I want to go to Optic and compare something again. I'm gonna use the cards here just to show you guys something. Okay. First of all, this is fucking crazy. This guy's a 95 rated. This guy was the best player this year for Optic. Besides Mercury's, he only came in at the end. But this guy was unbelievable. This is disrespectful. But anyways, we're gonna go through. These two have pacing like super fast, both of them. They're super fast. Then Dashi is probably the slowest on the team, and the fact that Dashi is the slowest on the team is definitely a good thing, because this guy still moves pretty fast. You know what I'm saying? He can hold a power position, hold a lane, and he can kind of take over. So you have this guy taking over, just kind of being the anchor to the team. These two are super fast. He's more just bang out in their face. Shots is a bit more cruddy. And then you have Mercury's goes through, and he just kind of is the glue to this. So this is where Dashi is, this is where Shotzi and Hook is. And what Mercury's does is he comes in and he's just the glue to this. He brings the team together, and it makes a little line. And that's how the team was flowing, okay? But when you look at FaZe, what I personally noticed this year was BZ was kind of trying to run it down. And then Draza, Cell, and Simp, the pacing just wasn't on the same issue. Like, I think they were just a little bit slow this year. And like, Skyline's a perfect map. Because Skyline's a map where you look at the talent of this team and they should be running everyone. They just weren't able to really use their talent. They were just taking a bit too much time, and they were getting beat by teams like, respectfully, Omit. Omit's a good team in challenges, great team in challenges, was the best challenger team in the game, but they should never beat FaZe. You know what I'm saying? They should never be like that. And FaZe were getting run down by Omit, and it just really was a pacing issue. They weren't on the same page and stuff like that. So I just think at BZ coming into this new team, I think him and Hydra could have that dynamic that I mentioned with Optic here. So this is how it should be, right? Celium could be the Dashi figure. So MC could be the Dashi figure, where he's just kind of the backbone to the team. And we saw this earlier as well, right? When Dashi and Shotzi were on the team and they were really struggling, they went 0-18, everyone had issues with Shotzi and Dashi's pacing and everything, because it's a team game. But all we have to do if we're Thieves, right, is we get it right. Dashi, MC, they can both reach the same talent level and same potential of the game. So if I'm MC, I'm not worried. I'm like, cool, I can do my role, we're chilling. SMG duo here, Shotzi is going to be the Hydra, okay, which we all know is a very fair comparison. They're both absolutely unbelievable SMGs. So we have that level, we have that player where we're like, right, we have Hydra, but we're good, we got it. And then your Hook, you just need a BZ, bro. You just need a BZ to do what Hook did, and this is the difference, I think. Because what we saw this year is BZ is such a good run it down SMG, but instead of playing like the Hook and that aggressive SMG duo, he would be running it down and Simple play a bit slower, and this year it just didn't work. So it has to change next year. It has to be Hydra and a BZ, has to be the same level of Shotzi and Hook, and they need to be running it down on the same, they need to be on the same wavelength as a duo. And Hydra and a BZ, fucking hell, that is a scary duo. That is one of the most aggressive duos we've seen. It is unbelievable, okay? Then we go across Mercury's, bro, crazy flex. What the best flex this year? Scrap, bro. Scrap was MVP. Scrap was unbelievable, and he can literally fill that role perfectly. I have no doubt in my head Scrap can fill that role. Just to show you again, player cards are not everything, definitely, but they're fun to look at sometimes. And just look at this guy's player card again. I'm not using player cards as a thing, but bro, like this guy, bro, 99 is unbelievable. Like he had one of those years again where he was taken over. So all we need to do here is make sure that our SMG Hydra is playing like he did last year. Okay, so all we need to do is basically get MC in. We need MC in for Dan. So this right here is going to be MC. Okay, MC is going to be right there. Instead of Envoy, we're going to have a BZ. They play like they did this year, but they have the other two plays as well. I just think the floor of this team is going to be hair, bro. The floor of this team is going to be hair. Where I just feel like, to be honest with you, Envoy and Ghosty, especially the last two majors, they kind of dipped off a little bit and their floor was there, and that's what happened. I think the peak of the team's still going to be there. Both teams have an unbelievable peak, but I think with the new roster that I'm kind of forming here, their floor is just going to be higher. So I don't think they're going to have those disappointing finishes. And to be honest with you, this team could very well win everything or compete for everything. You know what I'm saying? I think this team's unbelievable, and I really think this team has to happen. It has to be a BZ, Cell, Hydra, and Scrap. Let me know down below what you guys think. And a BZ for me is a key, man. He really is a key, because there's so many decisions that could be made from a BZ. Falcons are a big player here as well. I think a lot changes here, man, in this roster mania. But the first domino is Ghosty kind of falling. And yeah, I want to know what you guys think down below. Let me know, and I'll catch you guys for another video tomorrow. Peace.